Okay, let's try again. I've tried this about 7 times and nothing's happened. Is there anybody here who have we all died of coronavirus, which isn't a laughing matter? But you might also use it in any sort of context just to see how far you get. Is there anybody out there? Right. Sound check. Write arseholes in the chat once if you can completely hear me. That's arseholes in the chat once if you can hear me. Well, Sam can hear me anyway. Someone can't spell it. Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome back to Fabe's Railway Adventures, and we're shortly going into Tier 3, so Christmas of Fabe is going to be highly amended this year. That's the phrase I was looking for. Well, the arseholes check was complete. Yes, hello everybody. As you've noticed, there's no preview for this year yet, and there's not going to be. Because the plan's so bland that what's really the point going to be? And the point's bland because I'm in Tier 3 as a result of other people coming in with coronavirus and then leaving again. Currently, Lincolnshire's most affected area is Boston, followed by Lincoln City. So I'm fucked either way. There's no escape from this, unless we jump into mass testing when it's given to us and work with it. Otherwise, we'll be in Tier 3 until probably July, maybe, of 2021. That's highly likely at this point. I don't know what your exact rate is, but if you're on my page and go down a little bit, I've put the ranks there, so you can easily find them. And I'll keep doing that until this whole bloody thing's over. So, like, it's easy guidance in case you can't connect to any signal or anything. Who's taking the vaccination? Me. I need to. Problem solved. But yeah, the majority of us are in Tier 3. The majority of us. Wales goes back down to further restrictions on Friday. And they'll be in another Welsh national before Christmas. Almost guaranteed. Oh, Newton Abbeyist. What's happening with your 6 misuses at Antrim? Hello, my life as Isaac 101. Isaac's a good name. I don't think it's a popular one, though. Government can promise a lot. But yeah, in regards to that, though, Sophie, we can't say that it's the Nottingham Area Council's not working. It is the government. Because, what's her face? She's Labour for Nottingham West. I forget her name at the moment. But she's commonly stating about this lot. What's her name? Somebody knows her, but I can't place it. Yeah, Lillian Greenwood, that's the one. I was trying to find her Twitter, but I couldn't find it. But she's commonly knocking the government's useless shite out of the park. Yeah, you're right there, mate. There won't be any point in you doing any sort of Christmas series because you can't really get anywhere. Like, all I can do is watch in the Shire. Yeah, you cannot leave Tier 3 for any reason. You can also not cross any borders of Wales or Scotland for any reason until further notice. Mostly because their surrounding areas are in Tier 3 anyway. And if you wanted to cross, you'd be stupid. We heard earlier in the week of someone travelling over from Kent to deliver Christmas presents in Wales, and they were fined after, what, 200-mile journey maybe? Probably even more. They were fined on the spot. Don't take the chance and don't be bloody stupid, is the key phrase of this pandemic. Mind you, life lesson, just don't be bloody stupid anyway. You're perfectly fine. What's in place for Antrim? I've got no idea what's in place for Antrim. I don't keep track of Ireland because there's not much going. If I could get an Ireland list, I'd stick it up. This is for essential, like, work, educational, medicine. Yeah, but, like, most people won't be travelling for any sort of thing like that. That's the thing. Yeah, Northern Ireland's going back in. Wales is re-putting the booze ban in. England's saying you can't, when your pubs are back open, tier 1 and 2, you can't have a drink without getting a Scotch egg or a sausage roll. I suppose it counts as a meal, but I didn't think they were meals themselves, just snacks. But yeah, Proof Ireland is going to the relatives of Dommy Cummings. Of course it is. People who ignore the lockdown. We know that. They've done that since day bloody... When was it Dommy Cummings went travelling to Barnard Castle? It's since that day people have thought, fuck this, let's just do our own thing. Which has turned into the consequences of a supposed tier system, which is basically the exact same as the last tier system, which worked until people stopped obeying it. Should we get to talking about the Christmas series now? Because literally we've been on for about 6 minutes and we've not mentioned it once. Right, so basically tomorrow's video is just going to be the same usual garbage it has always been. Much like the channel. If you can't do a connection by guy, the train only in Kent. Will it be an essential journey though, Richard? That's the point. Not people who think, fuck it, I'll just go over to the next area whilst I'm in tier 3. That's not going to work at all. But yeah, tomorrow's just going to be a basic thing. We're going to try and push every video in this series to at least 10 minutes. If it's not possible, sod it. Hello, LNER train fan. Merry Birthmas. Right, yeah, tomorrow's thing is just going to be extremely simple of, like, what, 5 trains. 1 Tampa, 1 freight train, and a couple of passengers, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and there we go. Day over, day done. As you might have noticed in my descriptions, over the last little while, I've started sticking in, like, the timing point location code, such as Saxey Stowe for Stowe Park, which is tomorrow's appearance. And I think timing point location codes will help in like real-time trains thing. If you don't know the CRS code for somewhere, use the timing point, because that's always in my description. If you can't spell the full name, like, who the hell can spell Gowen Cagowen properly near Wales? I never can. I have to Google it every time. But then if I had the CRS fit, that might work better. Apparently it's going to snow in the northwest. Don't be ridiculous. Yeah, I know the screen's black, LNER. There's nothing to see. And I stopped doing the departure streams because they were just boring. I found them boring. Who can spell Chan Viper Gwyn with other than Steel go? No thank you, mate. Isn't Boston... Yeah, Boston's the worst area at the moment. Which is then followed by Lincoln City. Which then is probably followed by Cleethorpes, Spalding, you name it. They'll follow in that list, but Boston is the absolute worst, and Cleethorpes isn't too far from it. Yeah, all of Lincoln's hospitals are overwhelmed. Grimsby, I think, is down to like a walk-in surgery. Grantham's down to a walk-in surgery. You've only got Boston and Lincoln that can supply full healthcare for the whole shire of main Lincolnshire, North Lincolnshire, and North East Lincolnshire to Cleethorpes. Pilgrim's fucked. Lincoln's fucked. We're all fucked. We've lost the walk-in centre here. I think the excuse was it was overused. Like, don't be stupid. Like, currently, my local doctors aren't seeing anybody. So, could walking have been overused if now doctors aren't doing anybody? Basically, yeah, be a boring series, but it's the only way I make money. Hello, Shane. Thank you for joining. It's been forever. Yeah, it is. South Yorkshire is fucked stage. Completely. Thanet and Dover. I don't know where Thanet is, really. I was thinking Thurrock. Takes you 2.5... Yeah, it does. I know it takes you that long, mate. I saw from your little map you sent me that time. You were literally thrown in the middle of nowhere. You might as well be the real-life version of My Summer Car. If anyone remembers that game from a couple of years ago. There won't be no normal Christmas because people can't follow simple rules, mate. That's the problem. It's that simple. No fucker cares is the main problem. Takes you 2.5. What you want to do? Yeah, text me that just to fucking wake up. The virus goes to bed. No, it doesn't go to bed at Christmas time. It comes out even when won't be in trains. Yeah, the virus won't be taking Christmas off, so you can ignore the government's garbage on that. You can't speak to a virus. You can't say, "Oi, cold, piss off," because it's still going to come round as an example. Not that coronavirus is directly a cold. We know there's multiple strains of coronavirus itself. We all get one per year. Then we've got to deep into this exact SARS version. Yeah, there'll definitely be a January shutdown. There's no doubt about it. I'm saying right now, you capped me on this, at 2030, on November the 30th, there will be a January or February national lockdown. You note me on that. Because it's quite literally proven every so often things I say actually do become reality. I might as well be Barbara Vanger, the blind theorist that died many years ago. What we need, Stage, is as many as we can to knock this on its bloody head. If it happens that every tier, or even every area, goes into mass testing by like the end of next month, we all have to do it. No questions. We need to. We must. It's not compulsory, but if you don't do it, then you might as well never sign and use the NHS services in your life. Call it that. Because if you're not going to take the important things now, what's the point in then going in the hospital when you need them and expecting them to sort you out? Do the new tests work the exact same as that? But you have to shove it right the way into your bloody brain. I'd think you would need to get tested before going to hospital appointment stage, yes. I know they'll test you in there as well, but I think you're probably best getting tested beforehand just for peace of mind. Is this real or is it a nightmare? Bit of both, I think. Welcome to reality. It's both. It can be a living nightmare. Like I say, the easiest option is if mass testing comes in your area, bloody go and do it. We could be out of this sooner. They're wanting to jab the elderly next month, if tests arrive. That might help, but at the same time, if we don't do our part, that won't make a bloody difference. We have to do our part, whilst the elderly do their part and then go back to sleep. We need to do our part. No ifs, no but, just bloody do it. Might be over with summer 2021. Well, Sam, if it is... If we want it to be, even not if it is, if we want it to be, we need to follow the bloody basics. No non-essential travel outside of Tier 3 areas. If we go back into a full national, don't pissing leave your area either. What we've currently got, Shane, is like the tests where you get it back within half an hour in the mass testing area, which would work. Like I was saying in my Discord earlier, say if they tested all of us, say, what, twice a week maybe, we could test positive at the start of the week, not get any symptoms at all, and test negative at the end of the week, and then be absolutely fine going on. If that comes into force or something to that effect, it might help even more. But then we need the tests available and people actually doing the bloody things. It's all so easy, it's bloody obvious. But people are too stupid to notice that. Yeah, go on, Newton Abbey, you take a break. Took me over now to get this thing set up. But yeah, the simplest thing going forward, do as you're fucking told, is the basics. The very basics. What's set out in your area, follow it to the point. And then you can't complain if you catch coronavirus. Because you've done the right thing. It's those around you that haven't. You're right there, no on social distances. That's absolutely correct, Sam. You can see it in my later videos as well. Nobody does. And that's why we're in Tier 3. Or going to be in a couple of days' time. We're all currently still in national measures now. So, like, you could well go out tomorrow and travel all you like. But we are still in national British measures until the 2nd. And then you will fall into your tier accordingly. There's no reason whatsoever to float any rule. They need to be followed. That's why they're bloody there. Look, yeah, it's all well and good Sophie saying about Dommy Cum-Cum, whatever we're calling him now, and what's it, Princess Nut-Nuts, that he didn't follow the rules to Barnard Castle, but we shouldn't let that be a distraction. It's like, for a complete random example, every time it rains, someone goes outside and sings Raining Men. Don't mean the whole street's got to partake at the same time, does it? Point there is, follow the rules. Also, don't be a blithering idiot. Yeah, we did jump from 1 to 3 strain. That's because we got a massive increase come through. We'll see, no doubt, on the main stats tomorrow of a 2-week-old figure, because that's how long it takes to process it. There'll be another 500-600 deaths coming in tomorrow on the chart. You follow the UK COVID Twitter account and you'll find it. The numbers are a disgrace because nobody's following anything. On about gloves not working, Sam. The car boot not far from me, Talksy. They demand sellers wear masks and gloves. I went and reviewed it a few months ago. Neither of them basic rules were followed. None of them. Yet they didn't suspend it. What the hell are you supposed to do? Some say rules are there to be broken, but at this point they have to be followed. Because then what's the bloody point in leaving those if you're not going to? Coronaversary tomorrow. It came around a lot long before that, mate. Because people in the UK and probably just England alone say they had something like this early last November. And if they had it then, it was here then. Because like the symptoms I had in February, match today's criteria to a T. So I probably had it then. There was no testing during February at the time. Essentially, Shane, but at the same point also, say if you was caught in a car crash the next week, you wouldn't go into a direct coronavirus death. It might be a factor, but also it might not. It depends exactly on the proper, like, how it goes for you. So, like, from what I've heard, don't know how true it is, death certificates at the minute have to have a cause and a possible contributing factor. The factor would be coronavirus. The cause would be whatever you died of. Say you was involved in a car crash. That'd be the cause. Say, I don't know, you was hit by a falling tree. The tree would be the cause, not the coronavirus. The virus would be a factor, not a cause, unless it's the virus that kills you. You could, like now, for example, have, I don't know, damaged lungs. Coronavirus would assist your death quicker. So that would make it the cause. But if you wasn't, say, severely hospitalised or severely ill now, it wouldn't be a direct cause, if you get what I'm saying. It's that simple. At least I think it's simple. But yeah, they're not being sent properly, EWS. Like, we know that Lincoln called emergency, last month. So did Boston. They basically said, in short, we're full. Don't come. It doesn't seem to be working, so no one's following the rules as a result. This is a lot worse than the swine flu, and I had that as well. I've got one of the weaker immune systems going. Because I had the swine flu, and I'm sure I've had this. No, at least 2020 ain't boring. Will your return be, though? Should I even say that information? But yeah, like I say, they're Newton Abbeyist. Anything's possible. Regardless of what we may or may not have now, or have had, is either something we caught ourselves, or something that grew to us, or so to speak. It all directly depends on what we do. So say you wouldn't get any of these sexual contractions, say, if you didn't fuck nobody. You wouldn't get them. I wouldn't think. Mind you, I don't know, do I? I've not been with someone who's had conditions like that. Yeah, you do have dickheads breaking the country lockdown system. Yeah, this is essentially about the Christmas calendar. We'd go in and everything. Why not? Build views back. Make sure notifications work and shit. Yeah, I think what it was there, Shane, China passed it to their next area and it just worked like that. And say, I don't know, not accusing any, but let's say, for example, a president of Germany or Spain came over and they threw it over to us, as an example. It's probably not likely that China flew it right the way over. It would have worked how it is now. Like, you see the wave bouncing from China, Russia, Germany, Spain, England. I don't think it's ever directly jumped from one side of the world to the other. Mind you, the US is still completely fucked anyway. And Trump's still trying to sue the bloody election after he's lost it 7 times on record. And all of his cases have been thrown out. Anyway, going back to the basis of this. Yeah, it does go from place to place. It doesn't literally take a plane and travel millions of miles. Political tensions have already flared up, haven't they? Blowjob's gone into hiding. Probably in a fridge right now. He's the most useless we've had. Let's look at it this way for a second. If we had our previous Prime Minister, Theresa Maybot, would this have gone any differently? Do we think? Would she have hidden away when we needed her the most? Like blowjob. Would she have hidden away? We know she had malfunctions, but blowjob is a walking malfunction. We've got to try and find middle ground. Would we have been better off? Or would we have fallen down a pipe anyway? Biden's got it right, because Biden's tweeting every day, stick your mask on and shut your face, in short terms. But I think we'd have been better off, say, if this came a couple of years ago. Or we didn't Brexit vote at the same time. Yeah, I think Maybot would have locked down probably January. We might have been clear by now. Maybe. We don't know, because it's too late to figure that one out. Anyway, back to the main plan. Yeah, tomorrow will be a short video from Stoke Park, because it's all we really can do, and that's the furthest I can go through the border. If I pass Gainsborough, I'm breaking lockdown. Simple as that. If I go towards Peterborough, I'm breaking lockdown. If I pass Lorem and Tallington, I'm buggered that way. So I've not got much to work with, but I've got to work something out of it. Because back in April, I think I sent out about 4 or 5 videos maximum. And we can't do that again. December 2nd. Yeah, everything's just local, but that's all we can really do. All I can really state is 5th and 6th, we were recorded on the same day and dragged over to each other. That's basically the short of it. Day 1, 3 will be in the exact same area, give or take. Days 2, 4 will be the exact same area. That's the plan, speaking the truth. I'm going to walk to a couple of these. Tour up the road. One's 20 minutes, one's basically an hour, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, you can't leave Warwickshire to enter Coventry or Solihull. You're basically jammed where you are, whether you like it or not. You can thank your neighbours for that one. As good as anyway. If you want to go active for a while, do so. Stick around if you like, though. Get the watch time up and shit. We might be able to get these episodes through quicker. Because views dropped a lot. And they're still dropping now, really. Yeah, you can leave your O's for any reason during Tier 3. Yes. But you were not under any reason permitted to leave your Tier 3 area. Like, I've got range of the main Lincolnshire. But I can't, as far as I'm concerned, I can't branch out Scunthorpe, Barnetby, Cleethorpes. For example, I can't branch there. Because it's not directly in my area. That's how we're to work this. We're locked where we are. And we need to follow the rules accordingly to leave. Yes, thanks for time on that one out, Shane. I was going to do that myself. The response there wasn't really called for. So where can we go? I don't really know where we can go because we're in essentially a 3-district shire, aren't we? We're literally stuck where we can go. Like those residents in North Lincolnshire only. Where the hell are they supposed to go? They really can't go anywhere. Because it's the smallest area. Warwickshire is alongside Coventry. Is Coventry in Warwickshire? I don't know geography. Oh, hello, Ban. Nice to see you. Big to see attachment. Oh, that, yeah. Okay. Just someone in my Discord, someone wanted to get into Northern or other. Yes, hello, Ban. What's this? You can't what? I'm missing all these messages. Someone can't do something. I can't provide link. Go to Mask Gets for Masks. Yeah, if anyone's got the link that's a mod, send it through. There's only like 4 mods on here, and most are inactive. Hang on. I'll find the link and do it myself. I think there's still currently a sale on maskets anyway. There we go. Van's done it for me. I think there's currently a sale on there at the moment. Get what you can. They've recently released, what am I thinking? TransPennine 185 and an East Midlands Railway 360 Desiro. Wear a mask even if exempt, Richard. I'm exempt. I wear one. There's no real excuses. There are literally no real excuses out there as why people can't cover the face. But it's still a question as how is it working, Sam? Like, I'm going to Google. I'll be confusing myself otherwise. Because, like, are we saying that I can range out of my main shire and go into the other parts of it, or can I not? It's really, really mixed. I'm sticking with what I get and following that. Google's useless. I don't know. That's why I'm working with what I can. Yeah, the exemption card's a joke because, like, every man and his dog's got one abusing it. The only real exemption I would essentially let off this is if they're walking around the store with, like, I don't know, this drip machine you can get in the hospital. And we do see people around with them in the street. But they're the only people that I would say are exempt because of a clear medical condition. Other people could well just be making it up. And that's what we need to watch out for. Who's genuine, who isn't? And that's a life challenge. Because it's impossible. No, even better than that, mate. Wear a fucking ventilator, see how you like it. Then tell me that's better than wearing a mask. I don't think we've got any free in this area anyway. I'm sure Boston's still full, Lincoln's still full. We can't go over to Nottingham, because Queen's Medical's full. And the other one in Nottingham's full as well. Hello, Jack. I'm alright, I think. How are you? I think you probably are exempt, Sam, but like I say, even if we are, but we can wear one, bloody wear one. Yeah. What about thinking about the next part of the video, Shane? Remember the little project that probably shouldn't be public yet, but what's next on it? Show COVID ward videos, well, we can't do that because we have to sign agreement forms with the families, wouldn't we? I think in the hospitals, it's essentially like being in a school. You need their permission to take any sort of videography of them. It's not like in the street we could point it at anybody. But we do need to get the point across and quickly. If people want proper Christmas and not a January shutdown, they need scurrying into the right place. Yeah, that's what I mean. They got to blur them because they've not said they want to be there. What's happening with the schools? I think they're closed, aren't they? Actually, no, they're operating as normal. But as we've seen in the stats, each time we look back, September is when we hit another peak. You can't say we didn't. I think all areas did. England did. I think the rest of the UK did. We all blew up in September. And we can't say that education is not the main problem. Because the pubs were open before the schools went back, and that wasn't when the spike appeared. The spike appeared as schools went back. Hello, Jack. Schools are the problem. I think there's at least 3 in my area that had cases that operated as normal. And they had, and by that I mean 3 buildings that had cases. Not just 3 cases through the schools. That school not far from me, I think lost either 1 or 2 year groups at the same time, but the school was still operating as if nothing ever happened. Lincoln Uni's going to get worse because they're wanting to test the students in the next few weeks to send them home. But then wherever they've come from is the problem, because by rights they shouldn't be leaving, because we'll be in tier 3 where you're not allowed to leave. So that's a problem in itself. Not just that we've got the virus contained in one area, it's B, that they're going to spread it about anyway. Whether they've got it when they leave or not isn't the problem. That's what I mean, Jack. Literally years are dropping like flies because the school hasn't been suspended early for Christmas or anything of the sort. Well, during your last stay-at-home order, Richard, you was near a vote every day at Deal Station. There's loads of people in ICUs. Like I say, I think Lincoln and Boston are still full. I think Grimsby's basically gone down to a walk-in centre. Grantham's a walk-in centre because you can't staff it. We can't use Nightingales because no fucker's there to staff them. We can't employ because we've not got any money. Christmas is on and off at the same time. Pubs are open and closed at the same time. This whole thing's a faff because nobody knows what they're doing because nobody's following basics. Now, put it this way. If everyone took March, April, May, June, July, whatever it was, lockdown seriously, we would most likely all be sitting in tier 1 or 2 at this point. Might not even be in tiers at all because they didn't come until after we was told we can travel again. But then if that was followed to a T, we might have been a lot better off now. New Zealand eliminated the virus twice. We've not even got rid of the bloody thing once yet. We've not tried. There's more than lots of idiots. There's millions of them. But I don't know if lots covers millions. We should go back to March lockdown. And no Dommy Cum-Cums is out. There's no reason to say because there's 15 different sets of rules we can't all obey the same copy. Because there's not 15 different sets. If you look at it properly, we're all essentially on the same set, just tweaked very, very slightly by our rates. I haven't got the link to the coronavirus map rate thing now, but when I last looked, there were some areas at a recurring rate of 500. And they, at the time, I think, were just under, like, tier 2. But their recurring rate was about 500. It's out there somewhere, I just can't find it. Yeah, the current lockdown's done nothing. Yeah, we've moved 1 to 3, because during the middle, where we was told we can do what the fuck we like, we did what the fuck we like, and we're paying for it. The people are having the cake and eating it. Only thing is, the cake's off, so they're ending up in hospital. Then there's no way for them in hospital because it's jammed up with other people. It's like we know cancer treatments, cancelled. X-rays, cancelled. Anything else important, cancelled. Because we can't do them because the hospital's full of coronavirus patients which need more attention. That's where we're at. Yeah, life, cancelled. Fuck it, cancelled. Internet, switch it off, it's fucking useless. Sure, we'll go back to fucking clapping on the street Christmas Day for the NHS that didn't do fuck all. After we all clapped for them, what, like 10, 12 weeks looking like fucking idiots, the rate flew up. Clap to the sky, I don't know, clap to the fucking God. Whether he exists or not is your imagination. Yeah, the simple people were they were banging pots, pans, probably banging fucking toilet seats in the windows, or I don't know. It was a complete waste of time. It was like cause pollution for coronavirus. We did enough of that. It does that as well, mate. I know, I've got the experience here. It took me plenty of time to get this stream up because the internet's shite, and I'm not in the sticks. Coronavirus will not be gone by next year. The way we're going, it'll linger around 2 years. We just got to look back as an example of the Spanish flu pandemic. I think that was that 4 years? That was about the same length as the First War. I think it was about 4 years long, the Spanish flu pandemic. And we can reflect on that as a timescale base. So we can't say that, like, we'll be fine next year, because at that time, they weren't fine next year. So there's no chance we will be. We can use its timescale as a basis to know where we should be going, sort of thing. And then figure out that timescale into modern day and use that as our own personal guide. You're worried about the vaccine, they've been working on it for 2 years. From what's been coming out anyway, the vaccine's been going on over 2 years. Apparently, the one we've got, or the one we're getting, you've got to have 2 strains of it. After you've had the main one, you've got to wait 14 days or whatever it is. Get the booster, then you're done. But then that's going to take way too long that we're all sitting here with our tongues hanging out waiting for it in a couple of years' time. Because they've not finished the first batch of people yet, because you've got to do it bloody twice. Are there any that's been developed yet that doesn't need 2 goes? Is there any that's straight there, straight gone? Yeah, it's better than nothing, but at the moment, at the same time, nothing is better than nothing. Because if it's going to be a booster jab, what's the bloody point? Because people are either not going to go for the first, or not go for the second. We need to clamp that in, so you can do it in one go. And not go back, miss your appointment, and keep working like that. It's like the people that when we weren't in any pandemic at all, were booking doctor's appointments like bloody smarties and never attended them, leaving nothing for anybody else. It'll be the same as this vaccine, unless we, yes, make it mandatory initially, and don't use a copy that you have to have 2 goes of, because that's the problem. You will just be looping in circles. But mandatory initially would not be a bad idea, so long as we're not having a double take of it. Because people aren't going to attend one or the other. Then they're going to skip out because they're suddenly scared of needles. They've been jabbed 25 times before. Hello, Level Crossings 2020. What I was reading about it, though, as what I was expecting, if you paid Papers, Please, you know about, like, the people on that game had to have polio vaccine to get into the country of Ostoska. We're thinking of doing that with this coronavirus vaccine. That you have to have it to go anywhere. Which will help us stop spreading the spread. And it'll contain it, where possible, like. But then at the same point, we'll be complaining like bloody Karen Zevers and I don't know, whoever the male version is. Let's just say George or something. We'll be complaining that they can't go anywhere because they're not being stabbed. There's no way to win with these bloody idiots. You plan to go back to Preston? It depends where you are, mate. Like, if you're nowhere near the area now, there's no reason to go back, is there? Because you're just going to be passing things on and breaking your own lockdown. Because Preston, I think, is going in Tier 3 from Wednesday. Or back to Tier 3 even. Manchester is. They fucked about the first time. They're facing it for a second. But what they're saying, the best bet's have the vaccine or you can't go anywhere. Which, again, logically is the best way forward. Because it will contain the spread. But then we'll have Karen Stewart or whatever complaining that they then can't go anywhere because they've not had it. So we've got to figure out a plan to knock it on its head and not have either side sodding us about as a consequence. But how are we going to do that? What's our way of doing it? That's essentially the summary, so I'm having a crap life for the vaccine. But there's no real way out of this unless you have it. Mind you, that's a thought. If, say, like my doctors, they're not seeing anybody now, Are they still going to push some of these vaccines into the doctor's surgery? Or will I have to go up to university campus and have it there? That bit's not been discussed. Because my doctor's is as good as closed. And the absolute nearest testing station is the university. But then where are they going to administrate the jab? At the closed doctors or at the university campus? Where do we go with that? That's kind of right. The rest of the world is trying, and we're just sat here twiddling our thumbs. You want to say Richmond might get some, but we've heard about Richmond recently. Richmond's surgery was absolutely useless. Yeah, Lincolnshire Ground's our main testing ground, isn't it? And then we've got the one at the university, which is actually off Beaver Street. Off the old railway line. Yeah, looking at it, Level Crossings 2020, we are basically all in Tier 4 in England right now. If you look at it that way, because we're dropping back down to tiers from Wednesday, we're essentially at the top of the tier board at the moment. That's the easiest way to think about it. Mass testing without double up, yeah. Like, they want to get Nottinghamshire to be one of our nearby mass injection centres. But if they've not started mass testing yet, how the bloody hell's that going to work? Come on, get your ass together, Matt Hancocks. And stop having such a stupid fucking name. Get married or something. Or change it by deed. If you're called Cock, you shouldn't be in Parliament. Yeah. People are going around these non-essential retailers such as Primark, but it doesn't help in Tier 3 that all them areas can reopen again, but then the pubs can't. Yes, the pubs are one of the problems, but B, so's queuing for 3 hours to get into bloody Primark to buy a £5 jumper you're going to wear once. Yeah, it's useful opening Primark and such for 24 hours through December. It's going to be a bloody hotspot in its own mind. I think what they should do with that, actually, that's a thought. Send a bunch of testing kits to 30-minute testing kits to Primark. Get tested before you fucking go around the store. Problem solved. Because the queues to get in could well be an hour. So why can't you be tested for the hour that you're there? To buy last week's sweat you're going to wear flipping once. Where is the actual sense coming from? What, you had a test? Was it an examination as SATs or an actual coronavirus test? Oh, came back negative. I think I came back, we're losing brain cells, but there we go. But I don't know what the way forward is. Yeah, like the main talk of this stream is the Christmas series, and that is essentially up the pipe. It's not really going to get anywhere, but we have to do it. Yeah, you do come back with lazy bastards, and that's not going to change, is it? It's been the same for you for a couple of years, mate. You'll probably be a couple more as well. We're fucked till the vaccine, yeah, we are. But then most people say they're not going to get it. Mind you, I suppose it's a good point in bragging, because then if you see someone in the street who says you're not going to get it, you can just run away from them, problem solved. Then you're not going to catch it off them. Unless they stop with somebody else you know, who then passes it on to you. Otherwise you can win that. But the way they're working is the elderly first, then the fat bastards, i.e. myself, then they're working down that chart, I think. It's what they said last, anyway. Whether it's the same now, it's just another complete different bloody story. Because nobody knows. NHS, what about the NHS? It's barely even here. It's hanging on by a thread. Because people can claim all they bloody like that last year hospitals were this busy. Were they, though? We didn't all have a life-threatening disease in 2019. Because a cold isn't life-threatening. To the majority, anyway. I don't know, like, large scale. But say it won't kill you if you've got it. This will. But it's just people talking out of their arse, like these conspiracy theory fucks and these Karens, that don't help anything. It's like, so if we just go back to the Spanish flu for comparison for a second, I don't think there was internet back then, so this conspiracy shite didn't exist. They were better off then, but the way we're going, we'll do longer than that because of all this bloody dog shite. Yeah, Virgin thinks all about the hospitals being rammed and not rammed. From what I've read, and I can only read from the NHS Twitter account, the majority of hospitals are busy. The Nightingales haven't been used at all because there are no staff. So these Nightingales, you might just call a vanity project, they were built, abandoned, still abandoned now because no staff for them. Now what? Because people are saying, move them into bloody Nightingales. We can't! There's no one there to run them. You thought we were going to next NHS as volunteers. That was the plan, but most of them don't want to go back, and rightfully so. You could explore a Nightingale. You could go explore that house on the A15 on your way to Sleaford train and find it's got rainbow stairs inside of it. Saw a video there a few months back. And that's waiting to be demolished. You're in Manchester taking patients, well, can Andy Burnham go in next? Then he can pass us the truth about what's happening there instead of talking about his arsehole. But yeah, it's got rainbow stairs. You find the video somewhere, and you'll see. Any psychics? No. I could probably predict what's going to happen next, but I can't give the lottery numbers. Like I said, at 13 or something like that, there is going to be a national sort of full-length measure between January and February. Manchester are going to Tier 2 from the 6th. How sure are you? Because the revision's not till the 16th. So no ranks will change from Wednesday until the 17th, when it can be put into further effect. You could well be Tier 1, 2 now, but you could be Tier 3 before Christmas because no one's respecting anything. Whereas, you could be in 3, you could drop right back to 1 because everybody's following the rules. Common sense is more important now than ever before. I don't know what level 5 is in Ireland, but I assume it's roughly like our Tier 4. We got to stay where you are and you can't do too much. Common sense doesn't exist, that's right, Jack. We've lost a lot of it this year. Do you think the next national will be by the end of February? Easily. We've not just lost good stuff, we've lost presenters to things that may or may not have been disclosed. Then at the second time, we're all just fannying about like school children. Start rolling play zone all of a sudden. But the way forward entirely depends on the general public having common sense. 95% of them don't have that anymore, so we are royally fucked. If we're not in another national by February, count yourself lucky. That includes Scotland, Wales and Ireland. I say the way we're going, there's no end in sight because people are just fucking stupid. What about Northern Ireland? The same really applies, doesn't it? The way we're going, we'll be reinfecting them areas, and then, like, it's just not going to work out. Because we've thrown them back to stage 1, whilst we're already still in stage 1. But if we follow things to a T, we'll work it properly. What recent issues? The lack of common sense in this community. Just go and read the community post. That summarises it clearly without even naming anybody. Someone's going to get triggered by it because they're stupid. Truth hurts, and then, obviously, if you're guilty, you get offended by something that doesn't even mention you, but you think it does. That just shows clear guilt. So say, for example, the off chance that, I don't know, there's a news story about something you did, like last week, but you're not mentioned in it. You go all apeshit, thinking it's you that's done it, thinking you're being exposed in the media, when it even states that it's not you. That's what some people are like. It's not what they're like with this bloody vaccination. When truth comes up, they get all offended because they don't like it. Yeah, he did speak in truth. He went to Spalding as well during the first national, if I remember. I've never fouled these lockdown rules. I've done what I can with it. I mostly stayed where I am, and like, after we left the first national, for the most part, I wasn't here, there, and everywhere in high areas. I was observing infection rates in the areas I was going before I gone there, to make sure that, like, I wouldn't have an impact should I catch anything whilst I was there. It's that when I went Newstead and Slights, I checked the stats before I went. And so when I went out to Derby, that was high risk, but that wasn't a severely affected area at the time. So I took my chances with that, and it worked out. That's what we've got to do going forward. Like, if we do get completely clear again after Christmas, which is the lowest chance imaginable, it's a chance of us being struck by lightning on a sunny day. But then if we do get the all clear, when travelling somewhere out of your area, check the infection rate of the area you are going to reassure yourself that you will not be coming back with the infection. It's that clear. Let's say, for example, you're going on holiday if we get the all clear in the new year. Check the rates of where you're going to before you even plan to go there, and monitor them just before you take off or start driving through the channel. Check the rates constantly. Like, say you book to go to, I don't know, Barcelona next year. We get to February, we look to all be in the clear. You go and book it for the end of July, but then rates in Barcelona shoot up. It would then be in your sense to amend your plan because of the skyrocketing rates at your destination. It can't be much clearer, really. People say they don't understand the direct tier rules. You just have to read them. It's like when it says for tier 3, do not travel to or from tier 3 or leave the area. Doesn't mean you're going to travel into 3 and stay over. Because that's not in the rules. The rules is you've got to pass through. It's like in the last Wales National, you could go to where you're going, but you could not stop in the affected area. So say you were travelling from Chester through to, I don't know, Llanelli for a 3-day stay over. You could not stop in Cardiff or Newport, for example, because they were under local measures as a high scale. You'd have to drive through the area. You could probably stop for fuel, but you cannot stop to see somebody in the affected area. And that's what you should follow if you are in tier 1 or 2 from Wednesday. Travel through 3, do not make a call. Say if you're travelling through on a train, yeah, fine. Do not leave in the affected area. That's simple. follow it. It's like I say, if we all happen to go free again, you can travel from, I don't know, bloody John O'Groats to Land's End by all means. But you shouldn't stop in between those two at high-risk areas. It's simple. Anyway, I'm going to quit off now because Paddington's about to start. If you're going to watch, switch on to number 5 or whatever it is on your doobry. That'll do. Follow the coronavirus rules to a T. Wear a condom if you're fucking somebody. Don't stop in tier 3 if you're in 1 or 2. Wear a face covering where possible, even if you're exempt, because most people can probably still wear them, unless they're on these fluid machines you can take your own from the hospital-like thing. And then we've got no reason why we should be in this stage again in the new year. Stay alert, control the virus, save your own life and those around you.